This is NerdTalk.
Hello and welcome to Nerd Talk. I'm Mike,
I'm Kurt.
and this week we have our good buddy Andrew from placingliterature.com.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Oh, well, you're quite welcome. Thanks for being on the show. So we'll usually start off our show with nerd news. Some lots of nerd news coming in this week.
Yeah. You got any?
Yeah. Well, one of my favorite things is this the new Echo and Alexa from Amazon. It's a always-on microphone. You can say Alexa, kind of like you use Siri or OK Google. But now they've opened up their API, so you can completely have it control all kinds of stuff in your house. So, turn your garbage disposal on and off, lights, your automatic lawnmower, your Roomba, that kind of stuff. Anything you can network, you can have Alexa control. So
Mike, I have a question for you. What would you network in your house if you could do anything? Would it be the coffee maker so it goes on when you need it? Or?
The coffee maker would be a good one. I think if I could get a robot to deliver me a beer.
Yes.
Alexa, get me a beer. And it'd be even better if I could set it up so they would know which one it was and they could scan the barcodes. Alexa, what kind of beer do I have? And the refrigerator door opens up, or even a little thing in the refrigerator that reads all the barcodes on the beer. Mm-hmm. That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Personally, I think I would like to use Alexa to be able to flush the toilet, because the toilet handle is one of the filthiest places in the house, and I could just say, Alexa, please flush.
That's a good idea.
It's done.
Shower is what I'm thinking.
It's very convenient.
Shower, you turn it on when you're still in bed, and so it warms up a little bit, and you can just kind of go straight from the bed to the warm shower.
Yeah.
Yes, just make sure you calibrate it so you don't
You're right.
So that's a good one.
On the subject of home automation, did you hear what Google's doing with Nest?
Yeah, they're bricking their old units.
The old Revolve hubs that people pay like $300 for to control their lights and so forth. They're just going to make them stop working May 15th,
So they're forcing everybody over to Nest.
Yeah, but isn't that's horrible.
Yeah, I agree. I hope somebody hacks the hardware and is able to install some
I'm sure they
software.
will. I'm sure they will. I'm sure someone's already working on that, if they haven't already.
Oh. Maybe they're going to hook it up with Alexa.
Ooh, there you go. And then Alexa can kind of take over.
And they can make little digital assistant babies and take over the world, and that's how the robot apocalypse starts.
But
Alexa,
would that be
brick
too much
Nest.
power for Alexa though?
It might be.
It might go to her head.
It could. Those commercials are great, by the way. Have you seen the what's his name, Baldwin guy? Somebody's putting the Alexa right there, shoving it in the screen. Good Lord. It's like the 3D house of digital assistants here. But yeah, they have an ad for with Alec Baldwin. Is it Alec?
Yeah, Alec Baldwin and Jason Schwartzman.
Yes. That's a brilliant commercial. But anyway, they're going to brick this. And the thing about it, somebody probably will, because I'm sure there's people around who do things like put the Linux kernel on a toaster.
Yeah.
Great little penguins coming up toasted on your bread. There's some other stuff. You were telling me about the clone factory.
I thought this was a late April Fool's Day joke, but apparently it's serious. China claims that their scientists are working on and are going to open next year a mass cloning factory to clone cows, pets, humans, police dogs, and thoroughbred racehorses. Racehorses. Why does that sound wrong? Racehorses. Yeah. Humans is one of the things they're going to do in there. So Elvis's toenail.
Yes. That somebody collected a toenail from Graceland, found it in the shag, stuck in the shag carpet.
That is disgusting.
What they were doing, climbing around the shag carpet for, I don't know. But yeah, and Yeah, that's cloning Elvis. Didn't they? Wasn't there like that movie Boys of Brazil? They tried to clone Hitler, and they like failed miserably.
Oh, wow.
They were like, at the end, the kid's just laughing at them.
Wait. So how do you fail at cloning Hitler? Like, do you make like the most altruistic person like ever? Is that like the failure that these people are getting?
Well, I think that it was they were trying to replicate his upbringing and everything,
Oh.
and so they like put him on a farm in Pennsylvania and everything like that, and I don't know
Why?
they rejected him from art school. You know? I don't know. It was just yeah. That's what, you know. I mean, I don't know. It's I don't know. I think that would be. I just think of all the things they're going to clone. I mean, aren't they already? They're already working on a woolly mammoth, aren't they?
Yeah, I thought they were started on that. That would be interesting, at least. But that, you know, you get towards Jurassic Park. Then when do you stop doing that?
Mm-hmm.
When do you stop with? When you have velociraptors? When you stop?
Yes.
Right before you have velociraptors.
Raptors. Yes, because if you wait till you have velociraptors.
Only clone the herbivores.
Right.
But you know, I have wild turkeys in my neighborhood, and they just started showing up again. You can tell. I was like, but they look like little velociraptors because they got the feet.
In New Mexico, Roadrunners. The first time I saw like a Roadrunner up close, I'm kind of like, it's a raptor. It's not a raptor bird, but it's very raptor-like.
Yeah, if you put
Sometimes.
you know, like a chicken or a turkey next to a velociraptor or something like that, like you could totally tell the evolution there. I mean, you can follow that along. They look very similar.
Yes, except that a turkey or a chicken isn't going to eat you.
They could.
They could. Well, yeah, you'd have to be pretty passive to have a chicken eat you, though.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's got a bunch of chickens in the backyard, and they frighten fairly easily. I think I could probably take one if they tried to attack me.
Yeah. Oh, I hope so.
There was the film Poultrygeist. I only got about 3 minutes into that, though.
Oh, well, you know, that's all you really need from a trauma film. Actually, no, some of the good meaty stuff is in the center of a trauma film.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite trauma film?
Romeo and Juliet, because
Yeah.
my wife is an English teacher.
Yeah. Have you seen, trauma
I
films?
don't. No, I don't. No.
Toxic Avenger,
No.
Sergeant
This is
Kabuki
all
Man,
new.
and
This is all
YPD?
new to me.
They're
All right, we're gonna have to have a film festival. You're gonna have to watch
film
some
session?
trauma films and be traumatized
yeah.
by them. So
Yeah, something tells me there's a lot of puns involved in these films.
they are beyond silly. Trauma is the people who put out Trey Parker's first film,
Really?
Cannibal the Musical.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's about I don't know, some guy from the Old West who was, I forgot the name of the guy. It's based on a historic character.
I forget.
So, anyway, yeah. So, Traumaville. Oh,
Be very careful.
yeah.
You never know what's gonna.
You never know. It's Toxic Avenger.
Okay, all right.
Toxic Avenger's safe.
That's pretty safe.
Yeah.
So what is it?
This is the trailer for Toxic Avenger. How he got started.
All right,
Yeah.
Excellent. Very nice.
So yeah, I used to go to conventions when conventions were much more low key than they are now. Now they're like these mega multimedia
Oh,
things.
it's a lifestyle.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was then kind of too, but it tied directly into like rave culture too. So.
Not so much
You
anymore.
know it's
I don't
true, huh?
think. I said not so much anymore. I don't think.
I don't think there's much rave culture left in the United States anymore. It was just, it was just this whole complete debauchery. So yeah. So we'll have to have a trauma thing next time because now I got that organ. Andrew helped me with my massive organ. Help me move it. I think we have.
Hey now, hey.
I think we have a picture. I think we have a
Relax
picture
there.
of my massive organ here, somewhere on the screen. It's an old 1886 organ made in Connecticut, pump organ.
Meriden, I think. Is what
Yes,
it is.
Meriden. There it is.
Handcrafted.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
And it'll be hand restored.
Say that is quite an organ. I'd like to come over and pump your organ sometime.
He said
it's,
as.
and the show veers off
We have
course
gone
and
off
down the
deep
ravine.
end, yes.
So yeah, actually, we're gonna have silent films. We're gonna play old silent films, and I'm gonna be
Sweet.
doing.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm actually looking forward to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Play
It might
some
be a little bit.
Chapman.
It's
Chaplin.
Yeah, Chaplin. Yeah, it might take me a little bit longer than I thought to do some of the restoration. It's got some of the reeds need to be cleaned off because they're a little bit flat or sharp.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's I'm very excited about that. That's my one of my big nerdy things is music, collecting old instruments. I got an old piano a little while ago from 1910s. I feel kind of bad because it has ivory keys, but I'm sure the elephant's long gone by now. As long as I don't have any of his relatives over, I'm sure I'll be okay and not offend
How
anybody.
awkward would that be? You know, horrible.
Calm down, calm
Hate when an
down.
elephant comes over. I got all the good ivory out. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, so yeah, so tell us about placing literature.
Yeah, placingliterature.com is a crowdsourcing website that maps novels and short stories that take place in real locations. So, for example, if you're reading On the Road by Jack Kerouac, as you're reading, you can go along and you can actually go to our website and map the places that they go on their road trip out west. They go through Chicago and Denver on their way out to San Francisco, and he actually talks about real places because it's based on a real road trip that Jack Kerouac did. So you can actually go to our website, log in with a Google login, and you can actually plot places from these books. And then consequently, people who follow along behind you, if they're reading the book and they want to know where these places took place, they can actually go and they can they can see that. A lot of our users are fans of Sherlock Holmes. So as you can imagine, Sherlock Holmes takes place all over the London area, so people can actually go and they actually put on the houndstooth cap and the pipe and everything, and they walk around London and they actually follow along in the path of Sherlock Holmes.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's really fun. So we've had about 3,000 places that have been mapped on our website from people all over the world. We're on all 7 continents. Yeah, it's been really fun.
Anyone can submit from their favorite novel that takes
Yeah.
place in.
Absolutely.
I was poking around a little bit on it, and I was saying, okay, how far does it go and which directions? And I threw in Harry Potter, and I noticed it does have the 9 3/4
It does, yeah.
station.
Because
And that's about the only thing that you can really.
exactly.
the rest is
Things
fictional.
things that happen in outer space or in fantasy worlds, don't really work because
Yeah.
they're not real locations. But yeah, Harry Potter. I forgot what the railroad station is called. I think it's like King's Cross Railroad Station. I think.
Yeah.
But the actual platform, I think, is fictional. I don't think there's a 7.5 platform.
They actually have like a sign up now. On
Oh,
9
well, yeah,
3/4.
after the book came
Yeah,
out, I'm
after the
sure they
book,
do, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, anything from the Carousel in Central Park that was in Catcher in the Rye, to Forks High School from Twilight, Shakespeare, Hamlet's Castle, Stephen King has a lot mapped on our website. A lot of different really cool books actually take place in real locations, and so what we do is we take the fictional story and we match it with the real location, so you can kind of see how they affect each other.
Cool. So you have any favorite places? I noticed you mentioned Sherlock Holmes a lot, but
Yeah, Sherlock Holmes. I'm a big On the Road fan, or I should say I'm a big Jack Kerouac fan. So a lot of his stuff. Mark Twain. There's a lot of his stuff on our website as well. So you can actually go to Hannibal, Missouri on our website. You can just zoom in on the map and you can check out, the fence that Tom Sawyer tricked all the kids into whitewashing for him. The caves are actually real caves. Jackson Island, where Jim hid out with Huck for a couple weeks. That's all there. Those are all real places because Mark Twain lived in that location and he said his stories in places that he knew, as do a lot of writers.
oh, okay, yeah, well, that makes sense. I noticed there was one of my favorites, Neil Gaiman, American Gods.
Yeah.
A lot of places are marked from that one.
Yep.
Now, can you set it so you can map from place to place, so you get directions from point to point?
You cannot right now, but that's a really good idea that we should do.
Especially for something like On the Road.
Yeah, something for On the Road or something like that. Yeah. We did build the website based on Google Maps, so pretty much any feature and functionality on Google Maps is on our website as well. That's one that doesn't carry over, unfortunately. Okay. But you can get like satellite view, you can get map view, you can get street view, but you just can't do directions.
Well, technically, I guess you could copy your longitude, latitude, or copy the places and put them on your map, and then you could just do it from your regular Google Maps.
Yeah, it's not automatic. You'd have to cut and paste over or something. But yeah.
Yeah, it's I'm really when I first met you and we worked together, it was really a cool. I was really impressed with that. So I imagine that it's really good for schools too.
Yeah, we have a lot of educators who use it in the classroom. I was talking earlier about the Common Core. We fit really nicely with the Common Core because that's all about getting students to go across subjects. You don't just study math, you don't just study geography, you just don't study history and English. You study things that kind of carry over into all those different subjects. And we do that real nicely with English, Lit, and geography. And then the other thing we do is we merge the virtual world and the physical world, right? So we're getting kids to read books, map them on a computer, and then maybe go and visit those sites in the real physical world.
Cool.
And it gets them to really understand their communities, and understand the stories that are told about where they live, work, and play.
Cool. Do you have any favorite sites in New Haven, since we're here in New Haven?
Yeah, well, the Green, as you can imagine, the Green has a ton of places. You can see here that we're zooming in. Yeah, there's a lot of places on the Green. The Writing Master by Kitty Burns-Flory, Joe College by Tom Perrotta, takes place all throughout Yale. There's just a lot of really rich stories that take place here in New Haven, because New Haven is a really interesting place when you think about it, because it's very diverse. So there's a lot of immigrants came in throughout the history of the city. So there's a lot of stories to be told, right? And so that really comes through in the books that are set here in New Haven. We actually partner with the New Haven Free Public Library. Once a quarter, we bring an author who's written a book about New Haven, and people they come in and they read a scene that takes place in a location in the city, and they answer questions from people in the audience and kind of talk about what's it like to write about your hometown, and what's interesting about writing about New Haven, what's difficult about it, things like that.
That's really cool, and I guess you could do a lot of activities around, different stuff around, having all the different landmarks around and things like that.
Yeah, providing context is one thing. It's one thing to say that a scene from a book takes place in the Green, but what is it about that place that makes that scene work, right? Is it because the Green is a green space in the middle of an urban area? Is it because it's wide open spaces? How does it give insight into certain characters? Things like that. So yeah, providing context and into the books that people are reading is something really interesting that people love doing. It seems.
Great. And what were the books you were mentioning about New Haven?
Joe College is a good one, by Tom Perrotta. The Writing Master by Kitty Burns-Flory. Catherine Weber, she wrote a book called True Confections, which is a murder mystery that takes place in a candy factory. And it's based on a factory on River Street.
Oh, wow.
The old Bigelow boiler factory, which was they did boilers for ships in World War II.
Oh, wow.
And I think all the way back to the Civil War. Like I said, there's just a lot of history here in New Haven and a lot of stories that people want to tell. And so it makes it a really interesting place to set stories.
Absolutely. That's really cool. And it's really neat that you can, use a tool like Google Maps and their API to be able to lay that stuff out. It's because the best thing about that is that it works anywhere. So you can plan out your vacations and things like that around it, especially if you're a really big literature nerd.
If you're really into a particular book, it really means a lot to actually be at the place where something happened.
Yeah, that's going to be great for fandom.
Yeah, for me, the most interesting application is if someone's going on vacation to, London or Paris or, Hawaii or something like that, and they want to understand what it's like to live there. Best thing to do is read a book, read a novel, a piece of fiction that takes place in that location.
Yeah.
And there aren't a lot of resources that tell you what books take place in certain places. So you just go to our website, type in a map. Type in a place and zoom in on the map, and you can just see what's written about it. It's really powerful stuff.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so I have to ask you, since we're talking, and we have pizza in our green room for catering.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite pizza, since we're talking about New Haven too?
Well, it depends on the pie, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going for just a Mott's pie, you got to go to Pepe's, right? They have the best. If you're looking for clam, I like Sally's clam pizza. You can't beat Bar's mashed potato and bacon pizza. I mean, that's fantastic. And then Modern, I think, has the best toppings. Like if you just want a pepperoni pizza, Modern is the best place to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it all depends on the type of pie you want. And interestingly enough, a lot of scenes from books have taken place in the pizza places around New Haven.
Well,
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense.
It does, right?
There's a lot of my cousin who lives out in L.A. is described New Haven pizza as better than sex. Yeah, so
I wouldn't go that far, but
so
it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's
Philip,
you know.
that's for you. So anyway, so that's I do like this town a lot, and I'm glad that there's a little bit more of a revival going on.
It seems like it, yeah.
Because you're based here. There's been a lot of startup activity in New Haven and things like that. There's definitely there's a good undercurrent of nerd culture in New Haven between New Haven I/O Group and Make Haven. Plus there's also like some good collectives of like synths. I've done some projects, but the Elm City Noise Festival goes on. So there's a lot of really good stuff. I mean, I think that there's definitely there's definitely growing culture here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been here for about 3 years. Moved here from San Francisco, and the way that I always describe New Haven to people that I knew over on the West Coast is, New Haven is a small pond, but it's a deep pond, right? There's some really cool, interesting people here. It's a small community, but everyone is really interesting and really knows their stuff, and is very helpful as well. It's really hard to get lost here. If you're interested in something, whether it's writing or music or whatever, theater, you'll find your crew, and you'll be able to to further whatever you want to do.
Oh, absolutely. And whether you're, into fandom, or if you're into, or just, just the fact that we have Yale here is a huge resource for the community, and all the little offshoots because of Yale, things like the institutional library or the Institute Library on Chapel Street and things like that.
I'm a member. Yeah.
Yeah. I need to up my membership on that. And there's definitely a really good, like you were saying, you'll never end up, lost. And I find a lot of the community here is very supportive. If you head to the Grove and you head to a lot of their seminars and things like that, it's really good.
For a lot of people at home, and for me, because I have no clue, what's the Institute Library? I actually don't know that.
Oh, it is formerly the boys' library.
The Young Men's
Library.
Young Men's Institute Library. Yeah, it was. Since I'm a member, I'll just go through it real quick. It was founded in the 1840s, I believe, as the alternative to Yale, as kind of like the working class library. And at first it was men only, but like 2 years later they opened it up to women. And it's the oldest members-only library in the United States. Interesting enough. And they've had, throughout their history, they've had a lot of great speakers there. People in the abolitionist movement went through there, gave a lot of talks through the civil rights era, things like that. It's a really, really interesting organization.
Yeah. and it's really fascinating to read some of the books there and look at some of the record albums they have, things like that. They've got a. Did they ever put the listening room in, right?
The what?
They put in a listening room, didn't they?
I'm not sure.
Oh, I think they may have, but they but some of the books, especially some of the old encyclopedias, are really fascinating to look at how attitudes have changed and how knowledge has changed. Travel books are really interesting too, but every once in a while there's good performances there too. I saw particularly interesting band Ted Offensive.
Oh yeah. You've mentioned them before.
Huh?
You've mentioned them before.
Yes, they're a fantastic group. They were performed at the library. So I know you've spoken there.
I have. I've given a reading there. I read a chapter of my novel there, and I've attended many other events there as well. Jack Hitt, he's a contributor to This American Life. He has a monthly speaking series there called Amateur Hour, which is really fascinating, where he gets people who are experts in a random subject, whether it's taxidermy or lockpicking or inventions or vampire hunters or something like that. He gets like someone who's the expert in this one random particular subject and has them over for an hour talk. It's really interesting. And yeah, they have readings there all the time. The New Haven Review has merged with the library.
Oh wow.
So yeah.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
I wonder if they need an expert for somebody who can just like sit in the corner and cry about how bad their life is, because I.
We can fight over that one.
So.
Well, we're getting the.
Yeah, we're getting the wrap-up signal. But this has been a really interesting talk. I'm really glad we had you on. Thanks for
having me on. Again, it's placingliterature.com.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Great. And definitely check out the site. It's really fantastic, everybody.
It's a lot of fun. I thought I'd just check it out for 10 minutes. An hour and a half flew by. Yeah. So also, I want to thank our crew and everyone here tonight, but also our email address, if you want to write any comments or questions, nerdtalk@drosh.net. Can we throw it up over there real quick? And
yeah, we're good.
Thanks. We'll see you guys soon.
Yes. Thanks for watching.
This is NerdTalk.